Hello and welcome to our non-spoiler review of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. My name is Kieran.
And my name is Sophia, and we got lucky and managed to swipe some tickets to see this thing ahead of schedule.
And now we're going to spill what we can without ruining anything for you all. So let's get into it. Uh, First of all, what did you think of this movie? Just to start, what did you, like on a ranking scale, what did you think about it?
I liked it a lot.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you got a rough number? Maybe some other movies that you could compare it to?
Hard to compare. I haven't thought enough about it. There were definitely a lot of scenes that made me think of other movies, but I'd say right now on a ranking scale, maybe like 7.5, 8.
Yeah, Sam, I'm right there with you. I'm somewhere between 7 and an 8.
I feel like we rate movies differently though.
Yeah, I consider 7 to be like the average, like the passing. Like I didn't want to walk out, but I also
I
wasn't like
usually
loving it.
consider like 5 and 6 my average, so take our rankings with a grain of salt. We think different things.
So you actually by that logic, you liked this movie
I did.
quite a bit.
It was above average. It just like wasn't. For me, I reserve an 8 for movies that I'm like, I would go to the movie theater again to see that and above. I'm happy I saw it the one time at the theater, especially we got to see it early, but
Yeah.
I'm not about to go back to the theater to watch it again.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna lock in myself at a 7.5 as well. Yeah.
Cool.
So, do you feel like this was a faithful D&D adaptation? Did this feel like a game of Dungeons and Dragons to you?
I mean, yes and no. I felt like in my head, yes, like when things were happening, I would be imagining, like what you would say if you were DMing the game, like enter a spooky cave, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But it didn't necessarily give me the feeling of people playing D&D like you and I had talked about, but it still felt like a D&D campaign, if that makes sense. But I didn't have the feeling of like I was watching people playing characters.
So I kind of agree with you there. Some of them, and I'm not going to spoil anything, some of the characters felt much more like D&D characters than others.
Yeah.
Some of them felt like there's no way the mic picked that up, but that was
Apollo.
oh my goodness. Yeah, some of them were very much D&D characters, whilst others were just characters from like a movie. And I mean, it was fine, but at a point there's that jovial nature that's kind of lost. And
The world itself though felt like D&D.
oh, absolutely.
That's one thing I will say.
Yes.
Like they built a little nice D&D world.
Yeah, they
It didn't feel like I was just watching some medieval movie.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It felt like I was watching a D&D movie.
it wasn't just the locations, it was everything about them, the creatures that populated them. It felt like a D&D world.
Which before I forget, and when we were watching it, I wanted to make a note to say just like how beautiful the filming locations were.
Definitely.
Because
you could tell that they filmed in a lot of real places.
yeah, in fact, I would say that most of that movie had to have been filmed practically and not with a green screen.
Yeah.
Like, especially as someone who has watched a lot of, not necessarily like mythical, I guess, but just, I've watched Outlander and Downton Abbey. I kind of know what looks real when it comes to riding horseback across the countryside. And yeah, I felt like most of the scenes that they shot, they were in person and filming on site. So, and I like that. So did you like the story? Did you feel as though it was unique, creative, worth existing?
Yeah, no, I don't know that this is gonna become its own massive thing, but I definitely think the story was good enough to exist as a D&D movie to bring it to even more people than already play D&D in the year of our Lord 2023. The game needed something positive with the whole entire
Yeah.
tear down of open game license. How about you? Do you feel like this was a positive spin?
Yeah, I do. I think it was a good little gift to the D&D fandom. Yeah, I mean, especially like it was also really nice like and yeah, I mean it was an early screening, but like knowing that you're in the theater with a bunch of nerds that are all there for one reason and one reason only is pretty great. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like going to see a Star Wars movie, Harry Potter. Like it's not like you're just going to see, you know, a James Bond movie.
Exactly.
Everybody likes that.
Yeah.
To go watch a D&D movie like
That's
and
something.
to truly enjoy it, because you kind of have to know how D&D works.
Yeah.
I feel like to, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's not to say though that you couldn't go to this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean you could still understand it, but just like, you know, spells, those kinds of things, like it's a lot more fun if you are looking.
You'll freak out when they do certain things.
Yeah, like if you're looking for the D&D parts of it, which technically is the whole thing. But you know, if you don't play D&D, you can definitely still enjoy the movie.
Now, kind of sort of lastly to end this really quick little thing, based on everything you saw in the movie, the writing, the directing, the acting, do you think any sort of a sequel would be wanted by you? Do you think you would want anything to follow this up? Or maybe would you want another story set in this version of Faerun instead?
Okay, so I don't think that it needs a sequel. I'd be happy to watch this group go on another adventure, but I wouldn't want it to be like a carry-on from these events. Like, I would want it to be like, we're going to do something completely different that has nothing to do with the villains and evils that they just dealt with.
So sort of like an episodic movie franchise where, like, yes, it's kind of sort of the same characters, but like, you don't like need to see. Yeah, you don't exactly. You don't need to see the last one to play in this new one. Yeah,
okay. That's. But in general, like I would be happy with a sequel, but I don't really think it needs it, and part of me feels like they wouldn't be able to do a good enough job.
Yeah.
'Cause this one, like.
Nice and self-contained.
Yeah, like it's a 7.5 rating, and like with a sequel that's bound to go down unless they do a really good job, which you can hope and pray.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I'm in the same boat as you. I don't really think that based on what I saw, we really need a sequel. What I would love though is another D&D movie in, you know, different group of characters, but a different kind of story entirely. Maybe less like a thief and more like a dungeon crawl or something.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch a 2.5 hour dungeon. I could do that on my own time.
People play Mad Mage.
I don't need to pay to go watch someone go through a dungeon. I could do it at my own home.
Yeah, but what I hope is that this inspires just
more D&D content.
More D&D. Yeah, more unique content.
Positive
content, yes. All right. Well, I think that's it for our non-spoiler review, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all on Friday the 31st with our full spoiler-filled review. Is there anything else you want to say before we end this?
No.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Bye.